Greetings and welcome to hour number 2. My name is Jeff Angelo. I, of course, your chaplain of cheer, your lauder of limited government, your pharaoh of free markets, and the grand potentate of Party Town. An attack on the campus of Ohio State University yesterday left at least 8 injured and the suspect dead. During that event, students were told to run, hide, or fight. That is certainly the advice you get in a survival situation. The question is, fight with what? And to talk to me about that particular topic, it is friend to this program and gun law expert Michele Byington on the Grip Tight Foundation Repair Newsmaker line. Michele, welcome back to WHO in Des Moines. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you.
So, give me your overall take, Michele. Should students and faculty be able to carry concealed or not on college campuses?
Well, being a gun advocate, of course, I'm in favor of that. Actually, back in January, Texas just passed campus carry, so it's kind of new here in Texas. But there are about a half dozen states that do allow license holders to carry concealed on a college or university campus. And what's interesting is there has not been one incident reported at any of the colleges that allow campus carry. So it makes you wonder, I mean, number one, OSU did a fantastic job yesterday.
Yes.
That you can tell they have gone through the training. That training sunk in very well to their brains, and they were able to flawlessly execute it. From the tweet system all the way to the law enforcement officer being able to neutralize that threat. But let's say if that threat had come into a building where there were not law enforcement officers, then what are students and faculty to do? Because it is not lawful to possess a handgun on a college campus in Ohio. So what you got to do is you got to improvise. You got to look around and figure out what can be used as a weapon. And what I do when I go into a building, specifically the courthouse, for example, I'm not allowed to carry my handgun into the courthouse, and I'm going to represent my clients. And so I always take a mental note of where the fire extinguishers are, because if there is some crazy human that wants to come in and hurt innocent civilians, I'm going for the fire extinguisher and going to spray them and then use it as a blunt object as well.
Well, I'll never forget, Michele, my wife has worked for legal aid in her life. She is an attorney, and she's gone through this particular training because, as you know, being an attorney, you can have a client that's very angry come after you, and this was the advice that she was given. One of the things that was emphasized for her in her training is so many people, they'll hide, which you're supposed to do, but then when an assailant comes in, they continue to hide, and unfortunately, they're just a sitting duck for that assailant. So it seems to me, Michele, one of the things that she was told was, if that assailant comes into the room, you're done hiding, you got to fight. Is that basically the advice you give to a lot of folks?
That's absolutely right. So the run, hide, fight method is one of those methods that is offered by the Department of Homeland Security. It is endorsed by many, many law enforcement professionals. I am a big advocate of it as well. So first and foremost, if you're able to run and get out of the situation, that is the preferred method.
Right.
Because less targets, that means less casualties. But we don't always have the luxury of running. You may be backed into a room where there are no doors or the windows don't open easily. And then what do? Then you hide. So out of sight, out of mind sort of a thing. So if you're in one of those scenarios where you're hiding, go to a bathroom, lock the door, turn the lights off, turn the cell phone off. There is a difference between concealment and cover. And concealment is what it sounds like. You're just concealed from plain view. You're out of plain sight from the bad guy. That's good and that is helpful. However, if you can find cover, that's even better. And what cover is that is hiding behind something that will be able to protect you from a bullet. So whether it be like a concrete pillar outside or behind the engine block of a car, that is cover. So if you are shot at, you will be protected by whatever you're hiding behind. Again, if you don't have that luxury, then you have to go into fight mode, where you've got to look around, figure out what's around you, what can be used as a weapon, and you need to fight like your life depends on it, because it probably does.
What do you think, Michele? Obviously, this drew a lot of attention to the campus of Ohio State University and its security measures. As you said, they performed very well in this emergency. They did everything right. What are schools doing to try to protect their students from these kind of attacks?
So I know many colleges hold these training seminars during orientation of what to do during an active threat situation. And as we saw, OSU executed it amazingly yesterday. But many states across the country don't allow for individuals to carry a handgun on their college campuses. So this may start a conversation, specifically in Ohio, that perhaps they want to start allowing, at a minimum, faculty and staff to start carrying if they so choose.
And Michele, you're a gun law expert. We operate, of course, under the freedoms provided by the Second Amendment. So what's the argument for states being able to declare certain zones or campuses or retail outlets? What's the argument, given the Second Amendment, that they make that allows them to declare certain areas gun-free zones?
So the Second Amendment is subject to limitations, much like the First Amendment is. So you know that it is illegal to scream fire in a crowded theater, right? That is not protected under the First Amendment.
Right.
Same thing applies with firearms and the Second Amendment here, where the Supreme Court has come down and said that there are limitations that can be lawfully placed on it. And this is one example. One example is having prohibited places where guns are not allowed. Or another example is requiring citizens to get a license to carry, as opposed to just being able to carry anywhere, anytime, even without a license. So we are subject to these limitations under the law.
So that would that be something that you'd be supportive of, Michele? And I know that you fight for the rights of gun owners, but something where, for example, a campus like Ohio State University says, yes, our faculty and students can carry if they are properly trained. Is that where maybe some campuses are thinking about going or could think about going?
I'm a huge advocate of that, and also I would hope that many college campuses start taking a hard look at what they allow their students and faculty to do, and specifically what they don't allow their students and faculty to do. And I think that they need to look at those states who have passed campus carry, because if you look at the statistics, people who are eligible to carry, who are able to obtain a license to carry, you got to be 21 virtually in every state in order to obtain your license. So it's not like you're going to have 18-year-olds with their handguns in their backpacks lawfully anyway. So this is for your seniors. It would be for your law students, your med students, and more importantly, it would be for your faculty and staff if they were to allow concealed carry on campus by a license holder. And if you look at these group of people, they are the least likely to commit a violent crime. So this is exactly who you want carrying.
So those are interesting points. And also, Michele, I want to go back to a point that you were making earlier, which is the argument against this is always the Wild West scenario. But what you're basically saying is that in areas that are allowing trained citizens to carry, we're not seeing folks, having a fight on campus and pulling out their guns to resolve it. Right now, we have some functioning examples that folks can carry and folks are being safe because they are carrying.
That's exactly right. I mean, the left or your anti-gun activists always go to this emotional argument of, well, more guns means that the place is going to be less safe and people are going to be so quick to go to their gun first when they're upset. And that just simply isn't true. Facts and statistics do not back that emotional argument up. What we need to do is we need to take a hard look at our laws, and we need to pass laws based on logic, based on statistics, and based on facts as opposed to emotion or sensitivities.
That is gun law expert Michele Byington. Michele, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Thanks for your insight on this particular issue.
Thank you.